BTT members, as promised, I am back today. I apologize for missing yesterday's stream. I thought nothing was going to happen yesterday, and then all of a sudden, just when I was supposed to do the stream, everything happened. So I apologize about that, but in case you didn't see, I've added an extra stream to make up for it. It'll be on Saturday, this Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, about 45 minutes before the Marvel panel begins. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about what's going on Comic-Con so far. We'll have ourselves a real good time. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go over, as you can see, hold on, I had to switch the view because it kept getting like crazy with the ads. So let me fix it so you can see everything that we're looking at here. There you go. That's pretty good. I can't find a better thing, so I apologize that I was covered up a little bit here, but we'll make it work. Okay. So before we get into breaking down the nominations today, that's the focus of this episode is, let's find out where you guys are watching from. Where is everybody streaming from today? Hi, Unicorn Gleek 29. By the way, the Lion King video is coming. I just didn't have a chance to finish editing it. I will do so after the stream. It's a ranking of the songs, as you guys suggested earlier this week. Hi to Movie Lover. Let's see here. Danijel is, I like that, from Crocodile Servia, from like Crawl. Nicole is in sunny Toronto. Oh, Thies, nice to see you. Netherlands. Let's see here. Will is in blazing hot Oklahoma. Jay Garcia is on his lunch break in Mexico City. That sounds lovely. John Saunders is also hot in Phoenix. Homer Simpson's in London. Aziz Thamer is in Saudi Arabia at the gym. I'm very impressed. Good for you. Jake is working from home today. Carlos is in Colorado. Oh, Mika is from Schitt's Creek. We'll be talking about that show, as you can see. Let's see here. Tyler is on vacation, getting dressed for dinner in Florida. Oh, hope you're having a wonderful vacation. Thanks for letting me keep you company while you get ready for your evening. Clayton says, not doing any work at my desk job. That's funny. I know the feeling. It's been a slow, well, not actually, but I've just been taking a little bit easy while I get ready for not only Comic-Con coverage, but because I'm on the East Coast, Comic-Con coverage requires a lot of really late nights. So I'm just getting ready for like the slog. Tomorrow there are two trailers, It and Terminator. Max is in his kitchen making an enchilada casserole. That sounds delicious. Evelyn just joined today. Welcome, Evelyn. It's so nice to have you here. Jurassic Park says, love being able to be in here live. That's wonderful. You guys are so nice to welcome Evelyn. All right, so Evelyn, the way it works is that I'm going to go, well, usually it's stories, but today we're going to discuss the major categories for the Emmys. And then, basically, I'm going to tell you what I think of each category, then I'll throw it to you guys really quick to keep it interactive, and you tell me who you'd vote for, and then we'll go to the next category. Then at the end, Ad Astra is also tomorrow as well. And then tomorrow, and then at the last 10 minutes of the stream, you may ask me anything that you would like. All right, here we go. Grace says she's not doing any work at her desk job either. Hilarious, you guys. Yes, let's play instead. All right, so we're going to start off here. As you can see, the Emmys will air on Fox on September 22nd, which is pretty far away. So I guess now they're going to enter the campaign stage. But we're going to talk about these in the order that variety. I like to bounce around between the trades. The three trades that I don't like the rap very much. The three trades that I cover, that I pay attention to, are Hollywood Reporter, Deadline, and Variety. I think if you cover those, if you follow those three trades, you'll have a pretty good idea of what's going on in the industry. So we're going to, I usually pull from the Hollywood Reporter. They're very good. But today we're going to spread the love over to Variety, and I'm looking at their list. If you would like to watch, if you'd like to go along yourself, here, I'll put the link in here. There you go. You can look at it yourself if you care to. All right, so number one, drama series. Better Call Saul. Is that still on? Bodyguard from Netflix. Oh, wait a minute. Before we do that, I wanted to give you guys some stats. Hold on one second. This is very interesting. Game of Thrones had the most nominations of any show with 32. The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel next was second place with 20, which is why I included both of them there. But then Chernobyl had 19. That's very awesome. I'm very happy about that. Then of course there are other breakdowns, but I'm just doing the top ones. Then by network, HBO not only had the most nominations at 137 overall, but it broke its own record of the most nominations ever. So that's amazing for HBO. Just in time for HBO Max. They're like, there's your Max for you. Netflix was second with 117 nominations, followed by NBC at 58, Amazon Prime at 47, and then everybody else bringing up the rear. All right, then we'll go to the show, the dramas. All right, so Better Call Saul, AMC, Bodyguard, Netflix, Game of Thrones on HBO, Killing Eve, AMC, BBC America, Ozark, I don't have to say what network it's on. Oh, you guys can see. Ozark, Pose, Succession, and This Is Us. They have way too many things in each category. It's nuts. I can understand them not wanting to leave anything out, but I think it really kind of like makes it difficult to decide who should and will win. I'm very happy to see Succession in there. I thought it was an excellent show. But as for drama series, I thought, Game of Thrones, you have to remember the politics of this. Sometimes a show will win just because it's the end. Like Schitt's Creek is coming up on its last season. Game of Thrones is over. This was the last time to nominate Game of Thrones. So as you can see, the Emmys didn't waste it. It being the most nominated show, even though so many fans disliked it. I could still see Game of Thrones winning because of that, because it's the final season. I think, though, that you could see a potential upset from Killing Eve, but I think probably Game of Thrones. What do you guys? I mean, I don't think it should win because it was such a horrible last season, but it was an incredible feat of entertainment. So what would you guys, who would you vote for Best Drama Series? What, Benioff and Weiss, Mika, would just laugh for their acceptance speech. Let's see here. I'm just waiting. You guys are a little bit behind, so I'm just looking for your Killing Eve. Pose. Oh, maybe Pose. Yeah, I could maybe see Pose. I think Pose, the nomination is a really big deal. Although some of you really are, maybe Pose. You know what? I got to tell you, I didn't think of it, but since I don't want to vote for Game of Thrones, and I thought Killing Eve Season 2 is also a little bit weak, I might throw my support to Pose. If I was a voter, I'd be like, you know what? I want to send a message. So that's what I would do. All right. So next up, whatever I'm discussing will be the top thing, so that you guys can tell where we are in the video if you're not watching this live. Comedy series: Barry, Fleabag. I've never seen Fleabag, although it's the same woman who does Killing Eve. The Good Place, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Russian Doll. A lot of people say good stuff about that, but I haven't seen that either. Schitt's Creek, which says Pop next to it, but it's actually available on Netflix. I started that show for the first time ever a couple of weeks ago because I had nothing else to watch. It's pretty good, actually. And then the only thing I kind of didn't, the reason I didn't stick with it is I was like, I'm so behind. And then Veep on HBO, a show that I first loved but came to hate. I think, Barry Season 2 was so incredible, not just from a comedy standpoint, but an artistic standpoint. I really think it deserves to win. I could see Fleabag maybe getting it because of everyone being so interested in it. Schitt's Creek, I think the nomination itself is a win. I think maybe it's more competitive in its two acting categories. Marvelous Mrs. Maisel is an amazing show, but it's already won so many times. I'd like to see the awards love spread around a little bit. So I would vote for Barry, but I think Fleabag maybe could get it. What do you guys think? I don't know how much I'm going to throw to you guys because it's slowing us down a little bit. We have a lot of categories to go to, so you guys can talk while I'm talking because I can see you're doing that. I see a lot of love for Barry, so that makes me very happy. If you haven't seen Barry, get on board. All right, next up, limited series. Now, a limited series is something that, is supposed to, it's sometimes some companies cheat as to what's a series and what's a limited series, but a limited series is supposed to be like fewer episodes or something like that. All right, so Chernobyl, Escape at Dannemora, which is like a little bit behind the times, right? Because it already got a lot of wins in other places. Fosse Verdon, which has the benefit of having just aired. Sharp Objects, which aired a long time ago. And then When They See Us, which is the Ava DuVernay documentary, which got a lot of attention, but some of it was negative, and there was a lot of accusations of a lot of it not being true. So I think that could maybe hinder when they see us actually winning. I think people would be hesitant to vote. Voters would be like, I don't know now. I would be happy with either Chernobyl or Fosse Verdon. I thought the end of Chernobyl, the final episode, was so bad. To me, it undercut the entire season. But what was the beginning of Chernobyl was so fantastic. The first 5 episodes, I think, I can see the Chernobyl love from you guys. Yeah, I think Chernobyl will win. It's a shame Fosse Verdon is outstanding, but Chernobyl is really, truly something special. And it was truly terrifying. And even Russia, I hear, you've seen the stories, even Russia's like, damn, that's good. All right, because it managed, I think, to be very accurate while still being respectful to the Russian people. All right, so next up, television movie, Black Mirror, Bandersnatch, which I find weird because from what I've heard, everybody turned on that. Brexit, that's with Benedict Cumberbatch. I actually watched that. It's quite good. Deadwood the movie, took too long for them to make it. I didn't watch it. King Lear, I have no idea what that is. And My Dinner with Hervé, which is actually Jamie Dornan and Peter Dinklage, based on the actor from Fantasy Island, right? The little person actor. I think Bandersnatch is interesting because of the choose your own adventure aspects to it. So I might give it to that just for that reason. And it was such a huge accomplishment that they pulled off there to film all those different ways that the story could go. Maybe I'd give it to. I don't know, but I think Brexit was so fascinating, especially, I know what King Lear is, guys. I'm not sure what the production is. You guys are so silly. But I feel like Brexit is so applicable to what's happened in this country as well, as it was a test run for the 2016 presidential election. I would vote for Brexit, but I'm not quite sure who will win here. All right, next up, lead actor in a drama series. Jason Bateman for Ozark. He was barely in it. I resent this nomination. Sterling K. Brown for This Is Us. Love that guy. Kit Harington for Game of Thrones. I think more of the whole show than this season. Bob Odenkirk for Better Call Saul. Billy Porter for Pose. And Milo Ventimiglia for This Is Us. Billy Porter for Pose. That's who I would give it to be honest with you. I think he has done so much with not only the role, but the opportunity in Hollywood. I mean, he's done such a good job raising his profile. I'm very impressed. And I'm not particularly impressed with, Sterling K. Brown already has his Emmys. I think Milo Ventimiglia, Kit Harington, I don't know. I'm so disappointed in the final season. I would give it to Billy Porter. Let's see here. I'm seeing some Bob Odenkirk support. That show just became too repetitive to me. Better Call Saul. Every season was the same. All right, so that's who I would vote for. All right, next up, lead actress in a drama series. Emilia Clarke for Game of Thrones. Jodie Comer for Killing Eve. Viola Davis for How to Get Away with Murder. Laura Linney for Ozark. This is a tough category. Mandy Moore for This Is Us. Sandra Oh for Killing Eve also. And then Robin Wright for House of Cards. Too late for Robin Wright. I just don't think that's going to work. It's a shame. Also, I didn't think that season was very good. Yes, I know I butchered Milo's name. But anyway, I think that this is really between, Viola Davis is ending How to Get Away with Murder, but she's already got an Oscar. So I think this is honestly between Emilia Clarke, who was, I think, quite frankly, deserves the Emmy for doing such a great job and having to deal with such horrible writing and what they did to her character, and selling it as best she could. But also, Jodie Comer does amazing work on Killing Eve. Like, wow. So I think it's probably between the two of them. Jodie Comer's been winning a lot of awards lately in the UK and other places. So I think it's a very tough competition between the two of them. I see a lot of love for you guys for Emilia Clarke as well. I think she really deserves it. All right, next we're going to switch over to comedy. Lead actor in a comedy series. Anthony Anderson for Blackish. I'm very impressed that he keeps getting nominated for that show. It's moved to Tuesday nights, killed it, I think, in terms of like the larger conversation when it was partnered with Modern Family. But that's too bad. It also became, I think, increasingly political and lost a lot of its entertainment value, in my opinion. I used to watch Blackish. I no longer do. Don Cheadle for Black Monday. I don't think anybody watched that. Ted Danson for The Good Place. Michael Douglas for The Kominsky Method. He won the Golden Globe for this. Bill Hader for Barry. And Eugene Levy for Schitt's Creek. I'd like to give it to Bill Hader, who just did a phenomenal job once again. But I think it could go to Michael Douglas because it's cool that he's doing TV. quite frankly. And then also Eugene Levy has had a very long career in Hollywood, and he's never even been nominated for an acting Emmy before. So I think it would be really nice to see him win it. So that's what I think. Although the Bill Hader love here is astounding, you guys. You really love Bill Hader. I don't blame you. He's amazing. I'm so happy. When we get to Best Supporting, you're going to see some real Barry love, which makes me very happy. All right, so next category is Lead Actress in a Comedy Series. Christina Applegate in Dead to Me just debuted on Netflix. I couldn't watch it. It's too much about death for me. Found it too depressing. Rachel Brosnahan for the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. She's fabulous. Gets no other work, which is weird. Julia Louis-Dreyfus for Veep. Natasha Lyonne for Russian Doll. Wow, she sure helped her career, right? Catherine O'Hara for Schitt's Creek. And Phoebe Waller-Bridge for Fleabag. I think Catherine O'Hara for the same reason. Can you believe that she has never been nominated for an acting Emmy either, besides being a really strong comedic actor? I think that you could see a win here as well. I think Rachel Brosnahan already has a ton of awards. She's even said she just keeps them on top of her toilet, so I'd be like not exactly inspired to vote for her anymore. I could see maybe Phoebe Waller-Bridge, but I really would give it to Catherine O'Hara, who has an amazing career and I think does such a fabulous job on even the few episodes I've seen of Schitt's Creek. If you don't understand why Schitt's Creek got so many nominations, I first got interested in it because it got so many GIFs online. I was seeing so many GIFs and I was like, wow, people really like this show. So I had nothing to watch and I was like, I should watch it. And I was like, it's pretty darn good. All right. Lead actor in a limited series or movie. Mahershala Ali for True Detective, Benicio del Toro for Escape at Dannemora, Hugh Grant for A Very English Scandal, Jared Harris for Chernobyl, Jarrell Jerome for When They See Us, and Sam Rockwell for Fosse Verdon. Also, an incredibly difficult category. To me, Jared Harris was just plain Jared Harris. He was good, but he was just Jared Harris. I would think that this would be between Hugh Grant and Mahershala Ali, in my opinion. Hugh Grant taking on a very different type of role for himself. He did a fabulous job. But I gotta say, True Detective was something special. And Mahershala Ali had to play himself at 3 different ages. And he did so with both nuance and I think really developing the character and showing real growth. And then also, of course, oh, sorry, I didn't silence my phone. I apologize. Weather alert, 1 second. And then also dealing with Alzheimer's. So I thought Mahershala Ali, yeah, I agree with Mara. He revived season 3. Dennis is like, Grace is wrong on this. I'm sorry. I would go with Mahershala Ali. I think he just did phenomenal work. If you haven't seen True Detective season 3, you're missing out. All right, next up. Lead actress in a limited series or movie. Amy Adams in Sharp Objects. Patricia Arquette in Escape at Dannemora. She herself has won a number of awards already for that role. Anjanae Ellis for When They See Us. Joey King for The Act, which I've never heard of. Niecy Nash also for When They See Us. And then Michelle Williams for Fosse Verdon. There's 2 nominations for When They See Us here, so that could make it a real contender there. I haven't seen it, to be honest with you. I honestly would go, though, with Michelle Williams. I think Michelle Williams did a transcendent performance there, and she's playing Gwen Verdon. So not only is it an amazing performance for Michelle Williams, but it gives Gwen Verdon recognition that she really, really, I think, I do have a Back to the Future ringtone, Alessandra. You're right, Allie, you're right. But I think Michelle Williams, really shone a spotlight on what Gwen Verdon accomplished and how she didn't really get enough credit for it. And I couldn't see, Michelle Williams kind of faded away, and I saw Gwen Verdon. So we'll see. I know a lot of you like Amy Adams, but I think a lot of you did. If you're saying Amy Adams, you didn't see Fosse Verdon, is my guess. Maybe you did, but I'd really like to see Michelle Williams take it home. All right, next up, competition program, reality basically. The Amazing Race, I love that show so much. American Ninja Warrior, Nailed It on Netflix, RuPaul's Drag Race, Top Chef, and The Voice. I like Amazing Race, but RuPaul's Drag Race is a pop culture phenomenon, and I think deserves to win. Next up, variety talk show. The Daily Show with Trevor Noah, Full Frontal with Samantha Bee, Jimmy Kimmel Live, Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, The Late Late Show with James Corden, and Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Just the fact that these all just blend together just goes to show you that late night TV I think is really struggling. I would maybe go with James Corden because I think he does really clever stuff. But Stephen Colbert has just been a ratings dynamo and I think has really upended the late night ratings race. So I agree. Where is the Masked Singer, Dylan? Good catch. All right, next up, supporting actress in I don't know why supporting is all the way down here. Supporting actress, what the hell, Variety? I believed in you. All right, supporting actress in a drama series. A lot of Game of Thrones here, boy. Gwendolyn Christie, Game of Thrones. Julia Garner for Ozark. Lena Headey. Do you not see the top of what I'm talking about? Oh, I apologize about that. Damn it. 1 second. All right. I apologize. All right, so Julia Garner for Ozark, Lena Headey for Game of Thrones, Fiona Shaw for Killing Eve, Sophie Turner for Game of Thrones, and Maisie Williams for Game of Thrones. I gotta tell you, first off, Julia Garner is very good on Ozark, so I'm glad that she's nominated. But while I love all of the Game of Thrones ladies here, I'm gonna tell you that Fiona Shaw is gonna win this for Killing Eve. I'm sorry. She's amazing on that show. It's such an unusual role for her to be cast in. I really think Fiona Shaw is going to win it if you haven't seen Killing Eve. I think she does a phenomenal job. She holds her own. She has really interesting line readings. I feel that the Game of Thrones women are all going to cancel each other out, to be honest with you. All right, supporting actor in a drama series. Also, tons of Game of Thrones people here. Alfie Allen for Game of Thrones. Jonathan Banks for Better Call Saul. Jamie. Nikolai Coster-Waldau. However his name is pronounced. I swear that keeps him from getting work. Peter Dinklage for Game of Thrones. Giancarlo Esposito for Better Call Saul. He's very talented. Michael Kelly for House of Cards. And Chris Sullivan for This Is Us. I like Chris Sullivan. He was very good on The Nick, so I'm glad to see him get nominated here. Maybe Peter Dinklage for Game of Thrones. I don't like anybody, quite frankly, in this category. I don't like the work that's been done here, to be honest with you. All right, Alfie Allen maybe, because, he had a nice little end to his run after disappearing. And see Dylan. Hey, Dylan, we're on the same wavelength today. All right, supporting actress in a comedy series. Alex Borstein for The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Anna Chlumsky for Veep. Cian Clifford for Fleabag. Olivia Colman for Fleabag. Betty Gilpin for Glow. Betty Gilpin, keeping the Glow love alive, deservedly so. Sarah Goldberg for Barry. She's good, but I find her character so annoying. Which is obviously the point, so I have to give her credit for that. Maren Hinkle, the mom for Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and Kate McKinnon, who I think isn't as funny anymore, but still the best cast member for Saturday Night Live. I maybe would go with Alex Borstein. I mean, that's a dynamic duo on Mrs. Maisel, and she just does phenomenal work there. Maybe one of the two Fleabag actresses. I don't watch that show. I love Betty Gilpin. I'd love Betty Gilpin to get the love. See, as Sir Charles said, right? Where's Liberty Bell today on the stream? I think Betty Gilpin's very talented, and I would love it to go to her, but I don't know if it will. I don't know if Glow has enough support. Supporting actor in a comedy series. Alan Arkin for The Kaminsky Method. Now look at all these Barry nominations. Anthony Carrigan for Barry. He's the guy from Gotham. I think that's so wonderful. Tony Hale for Veep. He's good. He's Forky. That's his reward. Stephen Root for Barry, also for Barry. Tony Shalhoub for The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. And Henry Winkler, again, for Barry. Henry Winkler has already won for Barry, I think, at the Golden Globes. He's very, very good. This is a very strong supporting cast. Stephen Root, I would not. I'm glad he's nominated. I wouldn't pick him. I would maybe give it to Anthony Carrigan, but I got to tell you, Henry Winkler has an amazing scene that as soon as I saw it when he was talking to Barry, I knew it was his award scene that he would send out to everybody. And I was like, that's super strong, Henry Winkler. But Tony Shalhoub in The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel this season, that's right, it is the Fonz. But Tony Shalhoub in season 2 of The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel got even better. Like even better than the first season. And that seems impossible. So I have to say I give it to Tony Shalhoub here. All right, next up, Best Supporting Actress in a Limited Series or Movie. Patricia Arquette for The Act. Marsha Stephanie Blake for When They See Us. Patricia Clarkson for Sharp Objects. Vera Farmiga for When They See Us. Margaret Qualley for Fosse Verdon. That's a ridiculous nomination. And Emily Watson for Chernobyl. I'm okay with anybody winning here, to be honest with you. I was also disappointed to find out that Emily Watson's character in Chernobyl was actually one character representing a whole bunch of scientists who risked their lives to go down to Chernobyl and help. And I didn't like that they didn't depict how many people put themselves on the line. I thought that was really not cool. Is there an ad in this variety? I'm disgusted. All right, then I was like, where's supporting actor in a limited series? Here it is. All right, supporting act. That's right, Sir Charles. Too hard to choose. Supporting actor in a limited series or movie. Asante Black for When They See Us. Paul Dano for Escape at Dannemora. John Leguizamo for When They See Us. Stellan Skarsgård for Chernobyl. Ben Whishaw for A Very English Scandal. And Michael K. Williams for When They See Us. Oh, this is tough too. If I was going to nominate any actor in Chernobyl, it would be Stellan Skarsgård. I thought he did a wonderful job, and of course, he's the father of both Billy and Alexander Skarsgård. So he has some very talented progeny as well. But I got to say, Ben Whishaw has Cameron Cox, I agree with you. Ben Whishaw has an amazing speech in the the final episode of A Very English Scandal when he testifies in court, which was amazing. That's his award scene. It's phenomenal. The reason I say the importance of an award scene is that a lot of times voters for these things don't watch the actual shows, so they have to just watch the clip reel they're sent. And so if you can put together a really good clip reel, that increases your odds of winning. So I think Ben Whishaw will win this. We just have a few categories left to go. Guest actress in a drama series, Laverne Cox for Orange is the New Black. Cherry Jones for The Handmaid. This is getting ridiculous. I think this is too many categories. Don't you think? I think it's too many categories. I think it's too many. I think we should go into just talking about other stuff. Is there any other category that anybody wants to talk about? We'll give it a moment. There's host for a reality or competition program. There's unstructured reality program. Are you kidding me, Emmys? There's sketch series. There's directing, but we don't talk about directing very much. There's some writing categories. That's nice. How sad they're so far down. So sad. That's right, Dennis. It never ends. That's why we're going to stop. But I gave you the link. You can go and take a look for it. You guys seem pretty good. All right, so thank you everybody for joining me. It's 4:30. That means we can open this up to, hold on, to anything you'd like to talk about for 10 minutes. So it's 4:30, so we can talk until 4:40. Anything you'd like to discuss? Oh, the Gossip Girl reboot. Yeah, I agree. That's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, if you were going to bring back Gossip Girl with the original cast as adults, their characters as adults, because of course they played teenagers as adults, but that would be amazing. Redoing it, I mean, it's amazing to me how Warner Brothers continues to make stupid decisions constantly, not only as a movie studio, but now as a streaming service. It's like amazing. Thoughts on Pennyworth getting great reviews? I think it doesn't matter. It's like the shows on DC Universe getting great reviews. No one has epics. No one's going to go find epics. No, I just don't think it's going to do well. I'm not even going to cover it. That's how little interest I think there is in it. But I am covering the boys. Do I eat breakfast, Jake? That's a funny question. I do actually eat breakfast. Yes, Dennis, Stranger Things 3 is a huge deal. Huge deal. Abdullah, my thoughts about the last Airbender Netflix show is that, did they really cast Javier Bardem as King Triton? All right. Let me see. Are you guys just telling me this? Where is the story? Is this just that rumor? I can't take any more stories today. Look, there's a story here, though, about Netflix not doing as well as subscribers it had intended. Oh! There's no story about Javier Bardem. It's still just a rumor. All right. Let's see here. Javier Bardem is not King Triton, at least not necessarily. It could be true, but I'm not covering it until I get it from a main source, or if I hear it from one of my sources. Let's see here. I don't think we're ever getting any more Shazam movies. I'd be really surprised. I'm not going to cover Scare Diego because the trailer isn't going to drop tonight, Tyler. It's going to drop tomorrow morning. Tomorrow at noon Eastern Standard Time. So that's what I'll be covering that. Well, Hugo says, will Charlie's Angels bomb at the box office? It ain't looking good, I'll tell you that. I did hear about Zack Snyder being the cinematographer on his new zombie movie. I think that's wonderful. I think that'll be really rewarding for him. I'm sure that Warner Brothers is making a sequel to Shazam, according to Zachary Levi. It's like when Vincent D'Onofrio said they weren't going to cancel Daredevil, and then they did. MBB, you're very good at getting attention. I'm impressed. Will Disney Plus kill HBO and Netflix? Kill them? I don't know. Seriously into their market share? Probably. Oh, Mr. Vitamin G1 says, do you think the backlash against Tim Miller's comments for Dark Fate are warranted? Are you talking about when he said that his new female action hero was going to scare all the guys? When I saw the headline, I was like, Tim Miller, what is wrong with you? Like, why are you starting a fight? Can't we just be excited about the new Terminator movie? So I'm excited. I'm annoyed about it. I wish people would just ignore it. Animation Juice said thoughts on people buying billboards near Comic-Con for release the Snyder Cut. I don't think that's a good use of anybody's money, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, Warner Brothers is going to do what Warner Brothers wants to do. I mean, I guess if they get desperate enough with their streaming service, it might be like, all right, let's put it on there. But it would just I mean, we don't know what the situation is with contracts. I mean, it's the same. Let me put it this way. I said they shouldn't release Dark Phoenix, but they had to because of politics. And I think it's the same thing with not releasing the Snyder Cut. Like, even though it makes perfect sense to do it or to not do it, they have to because they've already started on that path, and that's how companies unfortunately work. Jurassic Parks, I don't know. Netflix is going to lose a significant amount of content, and people are going to have to make choices with streaming services. So I don't know what's going to happen. All right, we have, it's so sunny, I can't even see. We have 5 more minutes. Oh, I thought the Area 51 thing was hilarious. Very, very funny. Joseph, which trailers will be worthy of getting shot by shots? It really depends what the most popular trailers are. It Chapter 2 will get a shot by shot. Maybe Terminator. I'm hoping maybe to do a shot by shot for The Witcher. Stuff like that. If there's any Marvel footage whatsoever. I'm going to read the new X-Men comics with Hickman. I actually really dislike Jonathan Hickman as a writer, but I'm just so desperate for X-Men comics to be good. I'll try it again. Ross, I don't think I'm going to review Glow. I mean, there are shows that I watch. You can ask me about it on here, and I'll tell you what I think about it while I'm watching it. But I just don't think it's popular enough to warrant me making a review. Why is it so sunny? Wait a second. Can't even frickin' see. Box Office Mojo is down? That's weird. Oh, Labrador. I'm seeing Once Upon a Time in Hollywood on Monday. So I will probably try and review it on Tuesday. Alex Ramirez says, will Scarlett Johansson be at San Diego Comic-Con? I don't know. She might get booed. There is no host at the Emmys, Evelyn. It's going to be hostless, just like the Oscars. And as one of you pointed out, I predicted that would become the new norm. And I stand by that prediction, and I also like it. Lewis, I'm not particularly excited for the Apple streaming service. And boy, no one's talking about that, huh? They really botched that launch. They were first to announce and have a presentation, but it didn't go well. I will be reviewing Watchmen, these for sure. Oh yeah, Zakaria, I saw that stupid they're doing a Birds of Prey comic to go along with the movie. Although here's the thing, Harley Quinn is in it, but yet it's still a Caucasian Black Canary. So, like, what the hell? And to have a Birds of Prey comic without Barbara Gordon as either Batgirl or Oracle, I think is incredibly offensive. Robert Linden Review says, do you think The Witcher will be good for Henry Cavill's career? If it's good, heck yeah. I agree. Why the Last Man? That's a very good. But it depends. It's an adult comic, though. Just keep that in mind. Gabriel says, "Did you hear that Atlantis: The Lost Empire is being considered for the live-action treatment?" When you see anything from like a secondary blog, okay, you got to take it with like a grain of salt. So if you don't see it from one of the main trades, or you hear it from like, there's like a group of us that have like, I think we have overlapping sources, to be honest with you. That's why we often discuss and cover the same thing. If it doesn't come from that group, I would be nervous about it. Lewis, I have not read any Buffy comics. I never watched the Buffy show. Nathan, I think Rachel Brosnahan seems a little older for Batgirl in my opinion, but I would like to see her get other work. Oh, we have 1 minute. 1 minute. We have 1 minute, Emilio. Dylan says, would you be interested in an Ironheart movie? With the right casting, I would be interested in it, especially with Tony Stark AI, although I think they have to be very careful and time everything out, and I feel very bad for what's going on with Halle Bailey with The Little Mermaid, and I wouldn't want to see another actress go through that. But at the same time, I mean, I don't know. I don't like the Ironheart character just as a character in the comic, so I never enjoyed that comic, you know, so while I think the representation is wonderful, I'm just not quite sure. I'm not quite sure if it would work. All right, it's 4:40. I'll answer 2 more questions, and then I gotta get on that Lion King video. Mika says, are there any DC movies filming? No, there's in post-production, and they might do reshoots maybe on Birds of Prey, but there's Birds of Prey and Wonder Woman 1984, of course. Do I think Hulk will be in Thor 4? I think there's a real shot at it, although a lot of you guys suggested maybe Captain Marvel would be in the movie, and I actually really like that idea. Oh, that's right, Sir Charles. Aw, shucks, that is all our time for today. That's very charming of you. Thank you, everybody, so much for joining me. I apologize again that we couldn't stream yesterday, but don't forget there will be a bonus stream to make up for it tomorrow. I mean, not tomorrow. Scratch that. I'm sorry. That's, my son distracted me. All right. Makeup stream this Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4:30 p.m. Pacific Time, right before the Marvel panel, just to discuss Comic-Con so far and what we're hoping to see happen at that panel. All right, thank you for joining me. Tons of videos until then. Okay, bye.